YouTube doesn't know how to send out notifications because I haven't done one of these in like 3 months.
I got one.
Did you? Hello. Hello. How's everyone doing? Got that notification? Oh, good. Oh, good. How's it going? Another salty stream, I guess. I'm not feeling all that salty today. It feels nice out here today. It's the first, like, tolerable day that we've had since the beginning of summer. It's like a nice breeze going on. It's only in the low 90s. That's doable, man, in the shade. That is doable. You feeling more buttery than salty? I'm like popcorn. I'm a little bit buttery, I'm a little bit salty. It's just the way it works. Just the way it is. Tell you one thing I have not missed, staring at my fucking self. Have not missed my own mug. Thank you, Cloud Massacre, for your tithe. Thanks for recommending Geek Vape. Yeah. They're indestructible. Oh, with the 7 of 10 length RDR2 beard. Is that about where the 7 of 10 is in Red Dead Redemption 2? Tithing from a loyal and extremely humble patron. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Your sins are forgiven. Nomini Patri, Filii, Spiritus Sancti. Amen. It's one of the things that I always wished that I had, like some little ritual.
Yeah.
I've never vibed with any religions or whatever, but I always like get a little bit jelly when I see somebody that's been doing something, because I can like approximate it, but when you see somebody that's been doing like spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch for their whole life, it just looks cool, man. They've got like such a nonchalant way of doing it. Any Warhammer books you can recommend to somebody who hasn't read any? Yeah, I do the Eisenhorn series. Xenos, Malleus, and Hereticus. Just ate a Stromboli. What the fuck is a Stromboli? Like, I've heard the name, but I don't know that I've ever... I could place it if you put it in front of me. Stuffed bread. It's like a pizza pocket. It's like a good pizza pocket.
So it's a calzone.
Calzone type of thing, yeah. Watched any Rings of Power yet? Nope. Nope. I'm not really interested in any of the new big TV shows that are out. I don't really care to watch House of the Dragon. I'm burnt out on fantasy shit.
We're staying comfortable in the early 2000s, man.
Yeah. Rewatching The Sopranos. We're like on season 4 now. Calzone is more ricotta and the stiffer bread. Stromboli is soft with moss. Got it. Okay. Maybe they should let Game of Thrones die. They should let Game of Thrones die, but they're not gonna let Game of Thrones die. They're gonna milk it until literally nobody can stand it anymore. and then it's going to go beyond that. You're enjoying Rings of Power? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I don't know. I'm pretty picky about TV shows and shit. Did you give up on the last Twin Peaks season? Yes.
We were like halfway through, but it felt like we'd watched like 3 different seasons of a TV show.
Yeah, I couldn't hang anymore. It was just a little too Lynch for me. Just like all these shows, movies, Hollywood out of ideas. Hollywood doesn't care about ideas anymore. It's not that they're out of them, it's that they're not looking for them anymore. They want like a guaranteed cash in. I was talking with Scotty about this on the Grease Trap that we did. Thinking back on it, it probably came off as a pretty like boomerish conversation. But what are you gonna do, man? When you get old, you start to notice these things. And we were just kind of talking about how like this current generation, millennials and Gen Z, really like lack a lot of their own things. One of the things I brought up was like when Star Wars came out, like the new Star Wars stuff. I remember them saying like, "Oh, this is this generation's Star Wars." You know, now this generation can have their own memories with Star Wars and stuff, and it's like, you know, my generation, we had the original, like we got Star Wars like as an original concept with a bunch of original characters. Like, where are those for this generation? Even like a lot of people would list off like, oh, you know, the Avengers, Tony Stark, all that stuff is based on comic books from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. There's no brand new stuff like Star Wars coming out now. It's all remakes of old properties, you know, reboots and remakes. Like, what do they got? Who are your characters? Who are your heroes? Who are your, you know, what are your properties? If you grew up in the late, you know, mid 2000s or whatever, if you're born in 2001, 2002, like, what characters do you have? Harry Potter, yeah.
That's all books.
Right. I mean, the books were early 2000s, late 90s, right? So, I mean, that's close enough. Do you think Star Wars is really all that original? Like the original Star Wars? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. For sure. I mean, it's definitely like based on other types of films and stuff. It's got a lot of Western in it. It's got a lot of Akira Kurosawa type of stuff in it, but you seen Ty West's film called X? It has a prequel releasing this month. The sequel already greenlit? No, I haven't. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're like, it's not like there's nothing, but I'm talking about like these huge cultural touchstones, like horror movies. I will admit, I think they've gotten the best treatment as of late, because you've got some actual new ideas and some fun new properties and stuff, but none of those get so big that everybody's watching them, you know. It's like even Disney is just cranking out remakes of movies that they made in my childhood and before my childhood. So Disney is no longer coming up with new ideas, no longer making new films.
Say Blade, but that was based on comics too, wasn't it?
And it was the late 90s when the first Blade came out, so I don't even know if it counts. But yeah, Blade was a comic book character, but at least a new property for films, for movies and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I do think, and I've been saying this for years now, and it's a slow climb, but I do think horror is ascendant. Horror is going to be, there's most of the good movies that we get are going to be horror movies for a little while. Because I think that, I don't know, I think it's been long enough since that genre was really, explored. Blade was great. Makes me mad he didn't get the first black superhero. Felt he deserved it. Who doesn't give him? I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily the first ever, but it's definitely like a black superhero at a time where there weren't many. Come on, it's like 11 minutes in. Can we dispense with the hey Pauls? We've said our hellos. If you missed your hello chance, too bad. People focus on Black Panther. I think it's because of Snipes' Hollywood history. Yeah, I don't know. Black Panther definitely wasn't it. What do you think? I haven't watched House of the Dragon at all. I'm not interested in watching it at all either. Not my cup of tea. All the ideas seem to be in video games now, not movies. I mean, a lot of times those turn into movies. Yeah, I guess Walking Dead would count, although, I don't know, like, how... It's like... It's hard to explain. It's like in the 80s, 90s, there were these properties that were just ubiquitous. You could bring them up to anybody. And not only had they seen it, but they were probably big fans of it, had strong opinions about it. I just feel like that there's less of that. Less of that, like, this is a cultural touchstone. This is something everybody is watching. Everybody has seen. Good water. Wish video game movie adaptations weren't such trash. There's so many games I'd rather watch a movie of than play. Probably why Let's Plays are so popular. Probably, yeah. I just think that a lot of times video game franchises are treated like cash-in stuff that's made for kids, and so they just gotta, make something reminiscent of it and put it on. Nobody really takes video game movies as seriously as they should be taken. Maybe that'll change. I mean, Breaking Bad, Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, those are all TV shows. Not that we're excluding TV shows from the concept, but... No, I haven't seen the Sonic movie, nor am I interested in seeing the Sonic movie. The Irishman is not, it's not what I'm talking about. Like that movie, you can't go just talk to anybody about that movie. A lot of people never bothered to watch it. I haven't missed out. Like, Breaking Bad is still there for me to watch. I can still check it out whenever I want to. I just don't want to. I'm just not all that interested in it, to be frank.
It's just so depressing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of those. There's like Die Hard is another franchise that was just huge, you know. There's just Goonies, you know. Where those types of movies, you know. These big, like, I'm not talking about like underground hits. I'm talking about these big blockbuster movies that everybody quotes and everybody talks about even today.
I don't get many quotables for sure. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. The Marvel movies are huge. I mean, yeah, for sure. But once again, all based on properties and franchises from, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Now we're talking about like a brand new character that you don't know, a brand new series that you don't know about, you know. Those seem to be lacking. That's how I feel about Dune. I mean, Dune counts with what I'm talking about. You know, they're based on books from the 50s or 60s, and, you know, there's a big 80s movie that kind of established it. So you're getting a reimagining of something from back in the day. Never really liked Marvel. I liked them for a while. Now I can't even really imagine starting one up.
Yeah, you'd think Endgame would be, I don't know, the end.
Yeah. Should have been. Because I haven't watched much since Endgame, but it looks like the quality of those types of franchises have taken a pretty steep dive in the intervening years. Got a bunch of kid stuff. I mean, that's another thing too. I was just kind of like vegging out the other night watching Twitch, and I ended up clicking on this dude's stream, this Zoomer guy, because he had like a ton of fucking people watching him play NBA 2K2 or 2K22 or whatever. And he had this thing where people could, you know, play songs for donations or whatever, and somebody played like a SpongeBob song, and he sat there and sang the whole thing. And, you know, he's probably a dude that's in his 20s, you know, like his early 20s maybe. And I tried to like think about myself in my early 20s. Was I just running around singing like Transformers more than meets the eye? Like, no, you know, I'd like put aside my childhood stuff. I mean, yeah, you still talked about it every once in a while. You still mentioned it, but it wasn't like, I just feel like kids now just hold on to that shit. Good morrow, Sir eats a lot. Thy vassal delivereth thine tithe to my lord of the salt. Yes, 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 tithe. Yeah, I mean, the Ninja Turtles song was great, but I don't think I was like running around singing it and stuff in my 20s and 30s. SpongeBob is actually entertaining for adults, though. Maybe for adults that grew up watching it, but that's kind of the point. One to 10, what are the salt levels for today? I got 2.5. Maybe. Something like that. People mature later? Yeah, see, I don't think so. Because, like, I wasn't, like, a hallmark of maturity in my 20s, you know? It was probably the opposite. That's not really what I'm talking about. It's probably, like, the exact opposite of a mature adult man in my 20s, but there was still, like, a very marked, like, okay, like, now I'm grown up, so I don't watch cartoons anymore. Now I'm into adult movies and music and shit like that.
Yeah, they're turning out those like adult cartoons that all look the same.
Yeah, the Pixar cartoons or whatever.
Like
Oh,
the
you're the
adult TV shows. Or
BoJack
whatever.
Horseman type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's more acceptable to like kid stuff as an adult. It wasn't that it wasn't. Maybe acceptable is the right word. It would have just been really weird to have a friend in my late teens who was still just like wore Transformers t-shirts and quoted fucking Ninja Turtles all the time and shit. Yeah, I don't know that there was a direct stigma. It was just that was like, I don't know, that's what everybody did. You moved on from that stuff. Now you don't. I feel like Marvel has turned into that exact thing, yeah. It's ruining us. I don't know if it's ruining you. It's just, I can't relate. Less autism back then? I doubt that. It's probably just like less diagnosed. It's just different priorities and shit. Like, one of the priorities that shifted was when I was a teenager, like, the biggest thing was I've got to get my driver's license, I've got to get a little shitty car so I can go do things with my friends. That seems to have taken a complete back seat now. A lot of it probably due to the internet. You can hang out with your friends in Discord without doing anything. So, you know, that probably makes a difference. I don't know. The Simpsons really made cartoons an acceptable thing for adults to enjoy. I think that cartoons were always an acceptable thing for adults to enjoy. I don't think that there was any kind of like. I think it's just more of a kind of like there's like a age regression kind of thing with people now, where they really idealize their childhoods even more than my generation did, and my generation is all about that shit. That's why they're serving up so many 80s and 90s properties rehashed and reimagined now, because my generation loves to look back on that stuff, but I feel like the current generations just live it. I blame the mass shootings for the softness, because we hear so much tragic news that people watch cartoons still as an escape. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that necessarily explains it. I mean, Looney Tunes are always good to check out. I mean, I don't know if I agree, Zach, because what are they going to do? They're going to remake remakes forever? Like a lot of we've just been talking about this, a lot of the millennial Gen Z stuff that people are going to be nostalgic for is stuff that's like remade. Like they're getting it now, like all these like live action Disney films. Do you really think there's going to be a lot of nostalgia for those? I don't. There's certainly like a demographic of people who are interested in that, but they don't seem like they just blow the doors off the culture anymore. Yeah, they don't do well in theaters because they're just like they're not. There's nothing new about them, and a lot of them are remaking movies that don't need to be remade. Like they've got a Little Mermaid remake coming out. That movie is still like, if you want to sit down and watch the original Disney Little Mermaid, it's still a great movie. Still a fun movie, still beautifully animated, still got great songs in it, great characters. It doesn't need a remake.
It's like all the animals in live action remakes don't have emotions.
Yeah.
Like I watched something like in The Lion King when his dad was about to die. The little lion CGI is just like stone face the whole time.
Yeah. That is true. Things that used to be like considered nerdy are now like hip. It's hip to be square, dude. Huey Lewis was right. Because that's exactly what we would have thought of a kid that was 20 years old and sat there enthusiastically singing SpongeBob or whatever. We would have been like, man, what a fucking dork. But now that's like, it's cool to be dorky. It's hip to be a dork. Neat. Yeah, I'm not even really talking about video games. Video games have always been like, there are certain characters that are just timeless. They're always making updated, like Mario, Sonic, Final Fantasy, those things, like, I set those aside in this conversation. Cool to be quirky, yeah. Cool to be random. Oh my god, I'm so random. I'm gonna sing a SpongeBob song.
Oh yeah, especially with memes. The memes have gotten just like complete absurdity, just funny only because they're complete nonsense.
Yeah. So random. Geeks are the bullies now. Yeah, because bullying has moved online where you don't have to like put your dukes up ever, So you can use like your slight intelligence over your target to nerd bully them, dork bully them. Internet bullying, man. Holy fuck. What can we do?
Well, it's like it used to be easier to just shut that shit off, but now they got all these like computer integrated classroom shit where like they can chat and all that shit.
Yep.
Rooms and stuff.
Nerds. Nerds. So many nerds now. Technology is completely unavoidable now, and the people who are supposed to be supervising barely know how to use it. I mean, I guess there's a lot of that still around, but it's going away. Like most of the people who are parents now grew up with the internet.
Yeah, you can't like say like a millennial parent just doesn't know.
No.
Especially nowadays, like where you can just Google the instructions on anything. Like, oh, you don't know how to turn on parental controls, just find a YouTube video and boom.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuse. It's getting to the point where there's no excuse. Trolling the old internet was a total mind game. Now it's 90% you're cringe. Yeah, sweaty. You're sweaty. You're sweaty, and then end everything with a lowercase lamau. You're sweaty, LMAO. Roasted. It's game over for you, man. You just got toasted and burnt to a crisp. Get cyberbullied, kid. You're sweaty, LMAO. You're cringe, LMAO. Yeah, a bunch of emojis. Paul feeling extra boomer today. I mean, I'm, whatever. I'm an old guy. What do you want me to do? Wouldn't it be like weirder if I was all into Hey Arnold and shit, and singing along with you fucking Zoomers? That would be weird.
Yeah, can't blame them. Like, we're watching Sopranos. You're getting those Tony vibes.
What?
Oh, like with the boomer Tony.
Oh yeah. I'm the same age as Tony is in that show.
Yeah. That was like one of the funniest lines. He's like, 90s in here, or 1950s in here, 1990s out there.
Yeah. Remember the Chimera episode you promised if I became a patron you would make my episode about white supremacist gangs? Oh yeah. I do actually remember that. Well, you'll get it one of these days. I didn't say when I'd do it.
You gotta be in the mood for
Yeah.
a DFF episode. I think that's why those patrons' choice things were such a pain in the ass for you guys to do.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta feel the topic.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, dude, singing Baby Shark, doing the Fortnite wiggle dance and shit. That would be way worse than me being a boomer. Trust me. What does your shirt say? It says, "The Rot." It's Nancy Pelosi as a zombie. What do you think about that? I know you're jealous of my shirt. You got tons and tons of shirt jealousy now. Sucks to be you. Where did I get it? Somewhere on the internet. I don't remember where. Zombie Pelosi, dude. She's great. Look at her. She's got worms coming out of her eyes, the whole nine. Nancy Pelosi, yep. Could be a metal album, yeah. Been playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag recently. That's like got to be the best pirate game ever made. It's the best pirate game I've ever played. It's fun to just like sail around. Listen to your dudes sing sea shanties. I lowered him down with a golden chain. I lowered him down with a golden chain. Yeah, there's tons of pirate games. Sid Meier's Pirates from back in the day. That was a pretty good one. Although, it wasn't as piratey as this one. This one's got that gritty pirate stuff. Sea of Thieves. Yeah, that one's a little cartoony, but it's piratey, I guess. Lamau, says the guy who's friends with a man who wear comic book t-shirts and has figurines. Huh? What's going on, partner? You okay? Did you take a blow to the head? He got me good, man. Roasted. Gen Z roasted, man. He even started with the Lamau, man. Holy fuck. Roasted. Zoomer burned, man. On God, I was Zoomer burned just now. Yeah, dude, when the lowercase Lamau is at the beginning, you know there's a roasting incoming. A hard roast is about to come for you. 3rd degree Zoomer burns, man. I better go to the emergency room. On God, I better go. Alright, I think it's over. Yeah, they can dab on me till I combust. Was that a phone call? No. Just a little glitch in the matrix. Just a little glitch in the matrix. Yeah, I don't really smoke much anymore either. Can't really help you there. Oh God, what if they remake The Matrix? They will. They're gonna remake everything. Never got the Poggers thing. As far as I know, it's based on an old emote on Twitch called PogChamp, where there's a dude going like... So it's a way of saying like, oh my God, dude, I'm hyped and surprised by this. Did you get a rush of dreams when you slowed down smoking? Yes, actually. I have weird dreams pretty much every night now. Feels like a lot of Zoomer talk is Twitch related. Yeah. I would agree with that. That's what people do instead of like kicking it with their friends now. They watch their friends stream and spam emotes. Twitch is Zoomer YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty damn bad, gotta say. My tolerance breaks are just limited to only before bed to help me sleep. Yeah. Paul, I need ye help. It's me wife, Paul. She's 480 pounds and she be stuck in the pantry doorway. Problem is all the butter is on the inside of the pantry. Can ye help me with any advice? Nope. Sorry, got no advice for you there. No, I'm not gonna watch the new Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Thank you. Do you want to watch a Zoomer movie? Watch the new Elvis movie. That was a ponderous film, man. That was a film. I've never seen a film that had diagnosed ADHD before. It was just... I don't even know what to say about it, man. Yeah, you should check it out.
I think you said like the good Elvis portrayal is the only thing that kept you going in it.
Yeah, I mean the guy that they got to play it looks and sounds a whole lot like Elvis. So they got that right. But the weird like Zoomer rap going on in it, like they had like scenes where he's walking around, you know, in like the late 50s or whatever, and 2 Chainz is rapping or whatever. Like, what is going on, man? Why is this happening? That guy's gonna play Fade. Yeah, it's a Baz Luhrmann movie, so it's got like tons of like exploding titles and like it's got just like a case of ADHD real bad.
Yeah, like, The Great Gatsby was like that too, but it felt like it was held down a little bit more in it.
Yeah, it was the Elvis stuff was
unrestrained.
Yeah. Zoomerism was off the fucking chains. No, he doesn't die on the toilet in the movie. It really glosses over a lot of the weirdness about, Elvis. Just paints him as a tragic figure, which he was, but he was also, kind of a fucking scumbag, too. Oh yeah, I want to see that movie. I want to see The Whale. Heard he got like an 11-minute standing ovation or some shit. They don't show him cozying up to Nixon. They just basically glossed it over. They even like it's part of the story, but they even gloss over his drug use and shit.
Oh yeah, for Priscilla, we just got teenager.
What?
Like, they just called her a teenager.
Yeah.
And say she was 14.
Yeah. They just kind of, they gloss over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Nope. No fried peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
No coma.
No coma. No, really, they didn't even really make him fat. Like, they didn't make him fat enough at the end. Yeah, it's definitely a movie that you can tell, the Elvis estate was heavily involved in.
Which I guess they have to be, because apparently licensing Elvis songs is ridiculously expensive.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of tub him up towards the end of the movie, but I remember there's a part in the movie where they're talking, there's a news report that plays, and it's all Elvis is struggling with his spiraling career and his spiraling weight, and then in the next scene, Elvis is not fat, he's not even chunky yet. Just and I don't know, Tom Hanks's accent in it too bothered the shit out of me. I don't know how good it is, but just Tom Hanks bothered me in that movie.
The fat suit wasn't awesome.
No, it wasn't.
You think Tom Hanks is just too big of an actor for that role? Like, he overshadowed the character he was playing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Tom Hanks has really got the stuff anymore, to be honest with you. I feel like Tom Hanks has fallen off pretty hard. Any new movies you really liked? Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few decent ones that have come out. What was that Carnival movie we watched? Remember that?
I was just thinking of that too. I can't
remember the
place
name of it. But that was a pretty good flick. It was a moody flick. Nightmare Alley, yeah, that's it.
And that Eyes of Tammy Faye was just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Eyes of Tammy Faye, yeah. That was a good one. Yeah, they're still making good movies. Have not seen X. Of course, dude. Who doesn't like the movie Killer Clowns from Outer Space? I think that movie is just proof that anything can be a good movie if the people making it are having fun and they care about it, you know? Like, it's one of the stupidest fucking premises ever for a movie, but it's fun to watch. Yep, they're getting a video game. They're getting a video game. Oh, you gotta see Killer Clowns, dude. I think it's free on YouTube right now, if I'm not mistaken. At least it was a month ago or so, because I watched it.
Was it like free on YouTube, or was it free with premium?
I don't know. I don't know how to tell. It's free. There you go. Worth checking out. It's a good 80s horror flick for sure. Haven't watched it. Haven't watched any of the new shit. Haven't watched the new Game of Thrones. Don't care. Not free for you. Oh, sad days. New Cube is one of my favorite movies of all time. Love that Cube. I've seen Baraka and Samsara, yes. A good visual type of movies. The Cube remake, yeah, I remember hearing something about that. The first two Cube movies are actually pretty good. Cube and Cube 2 Hypercube, they're both really good. Cube 0, not so much. The third one, it jumped the shark. I let myself get excited for the Lord of the Rings show, but deep down I knew how it would turn out. I mean, I don't know how it turned out. I haven't watched it, so I can't really comment on it. It's hard to live up to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to live up to any property that was made by somebody that had, like, deep respect for the source material and a vision and all of that. $66 million an episode. That's just ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. Rings movie are legit fantastic. TJ's out of his mind. I mean, he was just dragged to the Lord of the Rings by his little brother, you know? So he's got negative associations with it. I can understand. I can understand it. Yeah, he's got trauma. Yeah. He's got Lord of the Rings trauma.
I think TJ also just has a need to have an edgy take.
Yeah, he's a contrarian for sure.
Yeah.
Hates The Godfather. Hates Lord of the Rings. Come on. Hate Goodfellas. I don't know. I don't think TJ really likes gangster movies all that much. He never really mentions them. I know he doesn't like Scarface. It's another one that most people enjoy that he doesn't. He doesn't like video games either, yeah. Godfather is good. It's just way too overhyped, so it's underwhelming when you see it. I don't have that problem. I don't have that issue.
I think it's like impossible to overhype like a show like The Sopranos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could try, but it's just such a great show. So well written, so well casted. Want to know what's really overhyped? Citizen Kane. Not one of my favorite movies. Still taking a break from cannabis. Yeah, I mean, kind of. I'll have a little bit here and there, but I'm not smoking anywhere near what I was smoking, 6 months ago. I'm out of here. See you later. Bye.